We haven't still done that. I'm still waiting for that to start happening. For some people, it is a comfortable moment. For some of us who might not have grown celebrating Christmas, it might be one of those uncomfortable moments, isn't it? But it is what they say. Once the year is come to an end, it's time to celebrate. I mean, some people haven't seen today as a date. Some people didn't see this year as a year itself. So it's good to celebrate, I'm telling you that. All right, we have a jam-packed session for you this morning. And this morning, just to hint at what we're talking about, I mean, we've had conversations about the education system in the country. But most importantly, we want to understand what goes on when public universities strike. We do know that for the past 49 days up until last week, public universities across the country have been on strike. Lecturers were at loggerheads with the government to send in some arrears out of collective bargaining agreements, which they say some date as far as 10 years ago. But we do know how semesters in universities run. Here we are talking about the year ending, but students gotta go back to school and try and clear that semester. What does that mean? Because you've missed 49 days of a semester. Does that mean they might not go home for public holidays? One. Does that mean that for those who are supposed to clear university, they gotta wait a bit longer for them to graduate from school? I've got a couple of friends from Moi University who've spoken to me this morning. And I've got one gentleman by the name Samson who told me it's taken 7 years to clear an undergrad degree. I don't know how true that is. We're going to talk about that this morning. The true cost of the university's strikes in the country. We've spoken to educationists. We've spoken to public policy negotiators. Why can't we speak to the students themselves and know exactly what they have been doing for the past 49 days? And what have the universities really told them this morning? What about the parents? All right. Did they go back home for the 49 days? Or they stayed put in their schools? Once we come back then, I'll be introducing the guests who will be joining us this morning. The hashtag is The Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. We do have a lot, just like I've said. And this morning, there's just a lot that is trending as well, all the way from the interviews for the president and what the government is saying for those people who have weapons and guns, specifically in their houses this morning. You should be warned because the president is speaking tough on that. Other than that, let's then take a look at what it is that you're waking up to this morning in terms of your trends. And we're going to jump directly to the Daily Nation this morning. See exactly what it is that the Daily Nation is talking about this morning in terms of the big headlines. It's still on education. It's a good thing that we are talking about this morning. Teachers split over the SHA medical cover. There's a dispute that just hours after top officials of teachers union signed a deal with the government to migrate the medical insurance scheme of over 400,000 members to the Social Health Authority, a section of tutors have expressed displeasure, citing a lack of public participation. Now, primary school heads attending their annual meeting in Mombasa termed the transition rushed and opaque, according to them, and warned of a backlash in the upcoming union elections. That story has been covered on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. We're going to talk about this because if you do remember, we did host Analysts Friday in the studio who did say that our meeting 3 months ago that was held at the State House of the 10,000 teachers, it looked as if it was a move to just sweet talk them into migrating into the SHA medical cover. Now, they've met in Mombasa, as we do know, and they've said, we're not moving. You didn't talk to us properly. You didn't come to us for public participation, and we want to know the details of that medical cover. teachers are also arguing that their current cover is more comprehensive than the SHA cover. And now they're threatening that in the next union elections, because it looks as if the government convinced a couple of union heads, they're going to teach them a lesson, vote them up. How this goes, it's interesting to see how the government essentially is going to look into this. What we do know is that they're already at the Sheikh Zayed Hall in Mombasa, where they're holding their annual meeting. Now, the public school managers said the new SHA scheme for teachers should have been piloted before being rolled out fully. Some of them are saying they do not want it. Interesting. Now, we want to talk about this trending story here where police hiring stopped by the courts again. We do know that the High Court yesterday suspended the planned recruitment of police constables following a public interest petition challenging its legality. Now, this raises fresh concerns over adherence to constitutional mandates in the security sector. That story has been covered also in pages below to Ruto again, when the courts come up and stop that drive as well. Now, why Trump's deputy won't be coming to Kenya, that story has been covered on page 8. And there's a double oath here. Bishop Sumuleti and gospel singer Bio succumbed to illness. We're going to see exactly what Kenyans are talking about, these two online, once we come back then with your trends this morning. Fantastic. That's how it looks this morning on your Daily Nation. I keep on saying the majority of these stories have also been covered on our social media platforms at Lookup TV across all of them. Let's step across to the Standard this morning and see what we have. It's a proper headline here. It's talking about principles from hell. And we talk about it like this, that corruption, entrenched tribalism, is it tribalism or tribalism? My English is keeping me this morning. It's tribalism, isn't it? Yeah, it's actually tribalism. I'll make a check on that. Yeah, probably need to have breakfast this morning before coming to the show. Now, high-handedness and biased promotions have become familiar ills in schools. Strikingly, they say, these malpractices are not introduced by junior staff or students, but by those entrusted with running the institutions. Now, these are the people responsible for shaping the character of our children. Revelations by teachers who have endured the excesses of their superiors, whether online or through the media, often read like chapters from the fictional books. Some of them teach in literature classes. That's it. It's interesting. If you look at some of the notes that we have this morning, for example, it's a resignation here by teacher. Read some of it. Please accept this letter as a formal resignation from the position as a graduate teacher of geography, French at Limuru Girls School with effect. This is as a follow-up to the letters I wrote in part. First letter dated 20 July 2021 expressed desire to resign from the teaching. It's a lot that we are seeing here. There's a full letter here that was written by one teacher from Limuru Girls. You've got to read it and see exactly how principals in the schools are misbehaving. Yeah. And then they follow it up again. It's a sad story that has been covered here by the Standard. Yeah. Talking about corruption, entrenched tribalism, high-handedness, and biased promotions have become familiar ills in schools across the country. That's what the story is talking about. the senator. There's a senator in Kenya who's trending as well. I'll be telling you exactly what that is. On that note, then, I'll first take you through a snippet of that interview that the president had with Al Jazeera, which is exactly what Kenyans are talking about, and then come back and talk about it this morning. All right, on that note then, let's take a look at that clip that is an excerpt of that interview that the president did with Al Jazeera. Come back and talk about it.
And also managing protests.
You didn't leave it to the police force, did you? You got directly involved. You told at one point police to shoot protesters in the legs. Surely live fire is not something that should be used in protests. Do you regret those comments?
I don't regret those comments at all, because the law allows the police to use force when other people's lives are in danger.
Surely there are ways of doing that without using live ammunition.
That is according to you. I think the police know what they need to do. And the police, by the way, understand that it is within their purview. That is why when I came into office, I ensured that the police was independent. The police carried out their responsibilities independently.
Well, you say independent. You're telling the police to shoot protesters in the legs. That sounds like you're ordering the police.
No, there is nowhere in the law that allows me to order the police.
The oldest newspaper in Kenya, The Standard, had on its front page Rogue Ruto, and you stopped live media coverage, or tried to, of these protests. Kenya's known for its freedom of media. It's one of the great beacons of free media in Kenya. People I've spoken to, young Kenyans, say they are worried now about censorship in your country.
I don't think so. I mean, you yourself just said tried, because it never happened. I mean, media is independent in Kenya. They write all manner of stuff. I think what you've just said, rogue, is one of the mildest. They say all manner of things about me. They say all manner of things about other people. I don't agree with what they write. I don't agree with what they say. But they have the right to say it, whichever way they want. They are also free to lie and to churn out falsehood. I mean, it's up to their conscience to write the right thing. But the people of Kenya ultimately will make an assessment of who has exceeded, who has not, who has done the right thing, who has not.
That's it. I mean, if you listen to that tiny excerpt, then you hear what the president is talking about. See, when Kenyans were enraged, when the president said, don't kill them, shoot them in the legs. Yeah, he did say that. I mean, we did hear the president say that. And he's been asked that question. Whatever he's saying is that, I will not apologize for what I said, because as much as the police force in the country is concerned, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. So my comments are neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, you gotta go watch that interview, to the point that the president was at pains explaining how he went right ahead and congratulated Samia Hassan Suluhu. Where he said, look here, in my country, you can't get 98% victory. He said it's impossible, but then he said, you can't judge. I can't decide for them. Yeah? So when the point is that you can't get 98% victory, and then you go right ahead and congratulate them, are you not in agreement that that victory was all right? Yeah? Again, this morning, we can't judge for the president. Let's use his words. We can't judge, man. Yeah? But there's a conviction across the world that currently, as it is, in a working democracy, you can't get 98% victory. It's impossible. Yeah? So goes right ahead and talks about the abductions that we did see in the country. But then he said, there have been absolutely no abductions in this country. But then we as Look Up TV, we listen to the president, and everything that we do, there's a scorecard that comes from the president. So I'm going to take you back to May 5th, 2025, when the president was speaking about the importance of stopping all the abductions in the country and making sure that the youth could essentially have a normal life in the country. Let's go back to this tiny clip of the president addressing this issue for abductions in the country, so we make our point from there. Let's take a look and come back and talk about it.
Vijana wa Kenya waweze kuishi kwa amani na vile vile wawe na nidhamu na wawe wangwana, tuweze kujenga Kenya tukiwa pamoja. Tumekubaliana? Yale yamesemekana mambo ya abduction tutakomesha. Ndio vijana wa Kenya waweze kuishi kwa amani na vile vile wawe na nidhamu na wawe wangwana, tuweze kujenga Kenya tukiwa pamoja. Tumekubaliana?
So for those people who didn't hear what the president said, amesema mambo ya abductions tutapunguza. Yeah. So here you are telling Kenyans you're going to stop the abductions in the country. Yeah. But when you're put on an international stage, you say, what abductions? There have never been abductions in this country. What are you guys saying? So how do we start defending you from that, Mr. President? I do not know. But it's just for you to make sense of what the president is saying. What do you think the president meant? That there have been no abductions in the country currently as it is? Talk to us at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. Here's the thing. I'll just read one or two sentiments of Kenyans on this particular issue, and then we jump into another trending issue this morning. This is Wanjiru who's saying, after sending Kindiki and congratulatory messages to Samia Hassan Suluhu, wewe mzee unatuona sisi ni wajinga. This is Wanjiru this morning who's saying this. Now, this is Charles who's saying Kenyan President William Ruto says Tanzania President Samia Suluhu's 98% win unthinkable in Kenya. Well, in a democracy, for example, in Kenya, you can never get 96%. He said Ruto won with 50.49% of the votes in 2022. Charles goes on to say, so why can't you say you can't get that anywhere in a working democracy? Because Kenya is a working democracy. That's according to Charles Onyango this morning. There's Kevin Kibet who's saying this morning, such blatant hypocrisy is why leaders like them must be removed from office. That's it. The last tweet this morning, Pan Africa was saying, well, the guy is a pathological liar. Why would anyone waste their time listening to sentiments like those? That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly what Kenyans are thinking about that particular issue. Now, let me take you to Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei, who has warned Uhuru Kenyatta to quit politics or forfeit benefits. And this is what he said. He warned former President Uhuru Kenyatta on Sunday to cease political activities or risk losing his taxpayer-funded retirement benefits and security detail, arguing that such parks cannot be used to undermine President William Ruto's administration. That's what he was saying. And when he was asked yesterday what he wanted to withdraw those sentiments, he said, I will not apologize. Never, ever, according to one Cherargei. Now let's take a look at that clip and see exactly what he spoke about once we come back and then see exactly what Kenyans are talking about it.
Please stay at home and watch how this country is being transformed. Na ukicheza cheza, sisi wengine we fear nothing. Tutatoa ile benefits yako ya retirement. Na hiyo maskari uko naye, sijui hiyo vitu yote unapata, uweze tumia pesa ya serikali kupiga serikali. You cannot use serikali inakupatia bodyguard, inakupatia retirement, inakupatia ofisi, alafu unatumia hiyo pesa ya serikali kupiga serikali. If you don't believe in that government, we are going to remove your retirement benefits. We are giving President William Ruto second term on account of his performance, because we can see affordable housing, we can see roads are being restarted, we can see SHA is working. Na wale wapinzani wa Rais William Ruto watafuta agenda na waende kanisa waombewe kwanza. Wengi wao wako na makosa, wengine wao walikuwa mawaziri wakaua watoto wetu, wako na damu mikononi mwao.
That's the clip right there. And Sergei is threatening President Uhuru Kenyatta, that if you don't stop, we're coming for you. We're going to remove the benefits that you have. We're going to remove that security detail. We're going to take it away. It's not the very first time we've seen such kind of threats, by the way, pushed to Uhuru Kenyatta. No, it's not. Yeah, it's you can count with me. It's just a lot. So this is what Karl Murray is saying this morning. Muhesh, are you saying you want to punish President Uhuru for making personal decisions that is allowed by the very law you sought to uphold? And when you say we, who exactly are you speaking for? Leadership isn't about dragging people behind you, but it's about walking with them until they choose to follow. You people have criticized Uhuru Kenyatta and accused him of all sorts of things, yet when he steps out, people flock to him. He doesn't chase crowds, but they chase him. This is not noise, that is unrespect. Do what is right, make wise choices, walk with the people, not ahead of them, alone or with a few people. If you lead with integrity, maybe, just maybe, they'll walk with you too. Wise words this morning from Karl Murray this morning. Nganga, Uhuru is worth over, allegedly. Nganga, I didn't say this. I'm just reading what you say. You're saying he's worth over 100 billion. Oof. Is he? Just asking Nganga. All right, I'll continue reading. How will 100 million affect him? He has a private security firm that can give him all the security needs. Nganga, if you say so, man, yeah, you can say if a man is 100 billion worth, according to you, he doesn't need it. All right? Finally then, on this one, there is Lily Mandela was saying the only time Cherargei appears bright is when he's beefing with Murkomen. Then it's back to default settings again. I didn't say that. All right, those are some of the trends that you're waking up to this morning. Others that Kenyans are contending with this morning is how Kenyan High Court has suspended NPS recruitment of 10,000 constables of IG authority. There's also now this morning of Kenyans who are in mourning this morning after losing musician Betty Bayo. I was never got to listen to her. Yeah. But from what I listened to yesterday, she must have been quite a good musician, I would say. May her soul rest in peace. She was receiving treatment upon her demise. If you look at those pictures, and you will see exactly what Kenyans are talking about it. Let me just read one or two sentiments regarding Gachagua this morning. He was eulogizing us, saying the news of gospel musician Betty Bayo passing on is truly heartbreaking and devastating to me and the whole nation. Her remarkable talent and contribution through beautifully crafted lyrics and charity work touched many souls and transformed lives. That is regarding Gachagua this morning. President this morning saying we mourn the passing of Beatrice Werimu Mbugua, fondly known as Betty Bayo, an extraordinary gospel artist whose voice carried hope into the hearts of countless Kenyans. Her breakthrough hit 11th Hour was a powerful anthem of divine turnaround that inspired the faithful and comforted many who sought strength, healing, and reassurance. Goes all the way to say, rest in peace, Betty Bayo. I would end it with this one as well this morning. Was it? Did she pass on because of cancer? It is what it was, man. May her soul rest in peace this morning. And let God walk with the family as they go through this hard time of coming to terms with that loss. Good. On that note then, we're going to take a tiny breather right here on the morning brief. Once we come back, I'll be introducing to you comrades in this country who have had to contend with an ending lecture strike in Kenya. We go back and look at the 49 days they've spent in the cold. When the campuses went quiet, what was really going on in the livelihoods of the comrades in the country. More university students, I know you're going to keep on writing to us this morning and complaining about how long it's taking for you to step out of school. Guess what? Let's talk about it this morning. From the same people go through the heat when lecturers go on strike. Once we come back right here this morning on Morning Drift, my name is Simba Elijah Charles. Good morning. See you on the other side of the break.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Is it for you to forgive someone who has hurt you? How easy is it? What are some tips, a person can apply to improve their public speaking skills?
We all have personality lazy somewhere around us.
In my mind, whenever I'm invited for a public speaking event, I don't like to put a lot of, accessories or too many colors.
What are the major things to look out when choosing a school for a child?
Another cheesy conversation starter is, men do this a lot. Men look familiar. Have we met before? No. We met in
Nobody is buying that line again.
No, we don't. We don't buy it anymore.
Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza liko na ria wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi mazuri.
Mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
I recall the doctor telling me that day, he said, "Sarah, I'm sorry about what happened to you, but you see, life happens. You would have to learn to work with your hands, depend on your hands more."
And today, if you're going through anything that you do not understand, just call on this name, Jesus, and he will save you.
I realized I love music when I was about 7 or 8. I used to puff my cheeks and play the 12-bar blues. Like I'd walk around the house doing like...
Why do we need the Holy Spirit?
I mean, if you look at what Jesus said when he was leaving, he said he is going and that he will send the Holy Spirit as our helper.
So God knows everything since the end, from the beginning, has a plan for your life. So to find that plan for your life, you must find God. When you find God, you will know the path for your life.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
Pindi tu taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Lookup, kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
Maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika. Na watasema hili, waseme lile, watasema hiki na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza alikuwa na ria wasa wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi mwanzo.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
Welcome back. You are watching The Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kinyage. For the next 1 hour, then let's just sit back and talk about what is going on in the education sector in the country, but most importantly, what's going on in the higher education sector in the country. In the studio, we've already had conversations around policymakers in the education sector. We've already spoken to parents in the education sector. Now, the voices that we haven't gotten really on the ground are for the students who find themselves in the mark of all the strikes that continue to hit the education sector in the country. And this is our introduction this morning then. Now, we do know that public university did face a massive disruption in the second half of 2025 after lecturers launched a nationwide strike that began in mid-September. The activity spanned 49 days, during which learning across 42 public universities was halted. Now, at the heart of the dispute was salary arrears and unimplemented collective bargaining agreements. The unions reported they were owed approximately 7.9 billion shillings under the 2017-2021 CBA and additional funds under the 2021-2025 CBA. Now, what we do know is that many campuses, including Moi University, Nairobi University, Cooperative University, issued formal notices of strike action after local management failed to honor earlier return to work formula and disburse staff promotions and medical cover. Now, the strike ended when the government and the unions reached a deal. The arrears that will be paid in 2 tranches. Phase 1, which was about 3.8 billion shillings, that was due between November and December of 2025, and the balance, according to that agreement, by mid-2026. Also, apart from the agreement, was a commitment to open negotiations of a new CBA covering to 2029. But here's what they said. In the event that they feel that all these promises are not met, they would again call for another strike instantly. So what we do know is that various students across the country might also walk into another strike by mid-2026. Now this morning then, what we did, we decided to have a fantastic or special show this morning. We were speaking to the students who for 49 days found themselves in the dark, where they were treated to lecturers dancing in schools and getting kicked out of class by some of the lecturers who wanted their agreements met fast before any lecturing could happen in class. Let's make sense of that. What's going to happen to the semester that has been affected for 49 days? All right, joining us this morning then to help us go through this discussion is a first comrade this morning, who is Jamil Blanche. Have I got it right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Who's a student at the Cooperative University of Kenya right here in Karen. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
You guys look, you look well fed, you look relaxed. It looks like the 49 days did you good. Yeah? Also joining her this morning then in the studio, we do have Nimrod Aberi. Actually, let me say it right. It's Nimrod Aberi, who is a law student at the University of Nairobi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm very fine. I'm very happy to be here. It's quite chilly, yes, but looking sharp.
That's it. I can say that. You're already a lawyer, man. Yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm happy to have you around.
Thank you.
So let's begin like this from you, Blanche. This morning, 49 days from September up to, a week ago. What was happening in your life for those 49 days? Because you came from home to start a semester, then all of a sudden your lecturers say, we are not going to class. First, maybe I should ask, did your university go on strike for those 49 days?
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And as a student of Corporate University, yes, our university did go on strike. It's a public university.
That's it.
But in my case, I am an online student, and at the same time I am working. So as the strike was going on, as much as I was feeling the pinch of being out of class, I had other things that I was doing. I was working.
Yes.
Yeah, so. And I also was taking a few short courses here and there because, hey, we've had several strikes, and it has affected our 4-year course.
That's it.
And one thing I've learned from it is that it is not guaranteed that you're going to graduate
within the 4 years, isn't
it? So a few short courses here and there could come in handy, especially technical courses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'll be going through the 49 days with you on exactly how you coped and what you were doing just to keep up with where the strike faces. Aberi, 49 days, let's begin with that. Did your university go on strike?
Definitely. For 49 days and 49 nights.
Was it 49 nights or was it 48 nights? The 49th night, they announced that the strike is done.
Okay. But
yes.
Still no learning continues.
I know,
so
I know.
Just assume.
Yes.
But yeah, 48 nights. And it really affected us because all types of learning, whether virtual or physical, got disrupted immediately.
I say that.
And actually lecturers who were trying to maybe steal some classes, some hours here and there, and teach online were evacuated by some other lecturers. So in the middle of the lecture, some other, I think, lecturers will join in and say, "Shut up! shut this class!"
It was an online demonstration.
Yeah.
Where they will be admitted in and they will come and demonstrate online.
Yeah. you cannot graduate with 3 to 4 students.
I know.
And also, a student cannot graduate with only 1 unit. So, but now, in as much as it is funny and also maybe the lecturers had their fun during the period, but
Yes.
the students bore the brunt. And also, this is something that has become more of a tragic ritual that almost every year.
That there has to be a university lecturer strike, isn't it?
Yeah. So it is something that actually, if not well taken care of,
yes,
it is going to hinder a lot of progress as far as the country is concerned, because we need more people on the ground that are skilled, not semi-skilled, and cannot even implement whatever they have learned, because you need those certificates at the end of the day.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the 49 days. Blanche, I mean, you're among the lucky ones. You're not 100% a student. Like you got to go to school, then after school you got other things to do, but then you are also an online student. So could you tell me, you could hear from what Aberi is saying, even their online classes could not happen. Lecturers infiltrated them and went online and started striking, even on the online courses. Did your online courses go on during this period for the strikes? How were the lecturers behaving with you?
Well, yes, my online classes were affected. Not just affected, they were halted. There were no classes going on.
Yes.
Yeah, and from class sessions to assignments to cards, all that has been eaten by that time, the 49 days, the 48 days.
That's it.
So it's clear to say that this semester we've covered actually 0. And as you can see, it's almost 2 months into it. So we have a lot to do.
And that's what I wanted. And that's what I wanted to come to next. Even before we talk about how long it's taken, I want to know, when the lecturers announced that, well, the strike is done, when OASU came in and said, well, we are now good, we've agreed on a back-to-work formula, has the university communicated to you, Blanche, that look here, you've wasted 50 days, those are 2 months, all right, of strike, and those are 2 months that have been taken off the semester. We do know that your semester could be around 4 months in total, that's half the semester gone. Have they come back and said, now that we're back to class, this is exactly how we're going to compensate for the time we've lost? Or it's just back to work and the semester ends when it ends?
That is what we're actually waiting for. From my school email, the only thing I received was studies have resumed. So we are waiting to hear which formula or which mode are we going to cover. What we were supposed to cover in 4 months, how we are going to cover it in the last 2 months.
So no communication yet?
Yet. As of yet, none. Just an email to inform you to report back to school.
That the classes have gone back?
Yeah.
So no communication whatsoever?
We're expecting this week probably, or maybe today or tomorrow, we'll have that.
Blanche, it's been a week back to class, isn't it? So what are they trying to figure out? I mean, it's either to say you stay in school all the way through the festive period until you're done with those 2 months, or it's just business as usual and your exams are going to start very soon.
From the last semester, what I saw, a lot of the new students that enrolled in the May intake, the registration period was extended, and we saw them cover. It was extended with 1.5 months.
That's it.
Similar to the period the strike has taken. And I saw them cover an entire semester with the fewer weeks that were remaining. So probably, I have a feeling.
That's where you're headed.
That's where we are headed. And being a student, we don't want to waste any more time. We just go with the flow.
Yes.
Yeah, and just hope we graduate.
But that's the whole point, and I'll be coming back to you on that, because we don't know how semesters are structured. We don't have different intakes within a university calendar year, and they're well structured in the event that population in the school is minimized, when you guys are taking long holidays, when you guys are taking breaks, when you guys are graduating. Even this structure essentially even allows you to attend lectures comfortably without these lecture rooms getting crowded. But there is a point where the university is looking at that and saying that we can't clash this semester in between this university calendar year? I'll be coming to you on that, so we see exactly how you're going to cope with it. Abari, has your university officially communicated that we are back to class? And so we are back to class. How are we going to end this semester that we're looking at?
Okay, so even before I get to how they communicated,
yes.
So there were rumors that this strike will continue till the end of the year.
That's it.
And there are classes, for example, the medical classes that required to finish a certain unit before you go to attachment that is usually fixated next year. And those are maybe the kind of students that have really been affected.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the strike has ended, they have offered an official communication that the classes will resume. But now, here is the problem. They are trying to milk an emaciated cow. Because, yes, in as much as maybe the 49 days helped us to go and fatten at our homes,
yes,
our brains have been drained and have been quite emaciated. And we are expected to return to a 6-week period to finish a 4-month calendar semester.
Hold on. So, Abari, are you saying that the only thing they've communicated is that learning is officially back?
Yes.
But then, have they stipulated how you're going to cover the lost period during the strike?
Okay, so the only thing that has actually been extended,
yes,
which I don't feel the extension per se, is the exam that we would have done this year, being taken to January.
Next year?
Yeah, next year. But it's almost like you're opening schools, and after 1 week or 2, you have started your exams. So what I'm trying to say is they have already told us how we are expected to finish the semester, but they haven't really told us how we are expected to finish that 4-month period within the 6 weeks that they have given us. Because, yes, they have given us the break during the Christmas season. But again, how do you expect to cover such a heavy, especially the heavy units and courses,
yes,
within a period of 6 weeks?
And then come back and sit for an exam, isn't it?
An exam, and not only that, we are going for a 2-week break, then you come for your second semester. Then, within that second semester, it has also been compressed so that the long holiday is quite effective, maybe for those people who will be going for judicial attachment,
yes,
etc.
Yes.
So, yes, they have communicated, but now the modules that we are supposed to, the time period, I don't think they have added more classes within the calendar, the timetable.
Yes.
I believe we are going to use the former. That is what we are assuming, because even the lecturers, that's what they're picking, and they're telling us, you need to start presenting in your classes, do this and this assignment. Already within the first week, we are feeling the heat. And I don't think we are going to cook.
Yes.
And not the cooking, the good cooking. We are going to really be cooked up if you don't get to check on how you work, so that you don't get a burnout too.
That's it. Let me understand this, because I know how Blanche especially behaved within this strike notice. Did you have to go home? Because we do know how demanding university is. If I stay in university, and I know where your branches are, all of them, I got to account for how I'm going to eat, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to exist within this university. We know that you operate within a certain timetable and schedule. Did you have to go home?
So, not everyone had to go home. Actually, as a matter of fact, since the strike wasn't really predetermined for how long it was going to take or how short it will be, so people were still in school, expecting that it will end anytime soon, and there are people who live very far, and there's no need of traveling home, then being told that, hey, come back. Actually, it happened because I saw a notice from Jomo Kenyatta University.
Yeah.
They were told to evacuate the school about 3 or 2 days before the strike ended. They were told that due to the prevailing strike, you need to go home till further notice.
Yes. And then
then 2 days later,
and 3 days you gotta come back. Isn't it?
The strike is over. We need to,
we need to continue
finish this syllabus.
Bwana na umeenda Mandera bwana, unajua?
As a matter of fact, we find that being evacuated means you need to, for example, in other schools, from what I know, if you are living within the hostels, you need to submit your keys for the hostels.
That's it.
You need to pack your bags and leave within that period, whether it is on short notice. That means for those who had gone home, they need to come back to school, pack their bags, and leave, so that when they come back, they be given the keys and everything. So that is, let's put that aside. Let's now look at those people who are still in school. There are people who are crying that they need to be given more help because the higher education loan that they were given has been exhausted within a time period that they were supposed to be in school and read and finish their semester, so that when next year comes, they're able now to continue with the one that is remaining.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you find that the money that they were given to sustain themselves, due to the, maybe you never know when it's going to end, and you get to use your funds, hoping that the strike will be over, and you can finish your classes within the estimated budget.
That's it.
So, and for example, at the law school that I am in, it is in parklands. And parklands, the living condition generally, apart from if you want to eat from within, the outside catering services are a bit expensive.
That's true.
So you'd find that the money that you're given is easily and very fast depleted. And now the students are at a crossroad of how they're going to finish the semester within a very limited or no budget.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so that's how the students have been coping. And I don't think if they have really been coping, or rather they have been surviving.
Yes.
And I'm expecting more survival mechanisms to be adapted within the remaining 6 weeks.
That's it, just before the end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Blanche, let's talk about it then. We do know that the lecturers have been given what they were demanding before they came back to class. But now here is the question. When we're looking at the load of work that has to be done, and there's something special that we saw this time around. The lecturers wanted you to be in solidarity with them in this strike. I saw a couple of clips going from Kenyatta University, from Moi University, where any other lecturer who would attempt to go to class and try and teach will be kicked out immediately. In fact, some lecturers went to the level of going to the libraries in the universities and kick out students from these libraries and tell them, look here, you need to be striking as well, because your lecture is outside here, you need to come and join us so that we get what it's due. Which begs then the question, Blanche, who bears the brunt? Now that we know the universities are also at a crossroad of saying, it's gotta be the same, we're not gonna increase the load, the semester has to end one way or another. Who's carrying that load? Is it the lecturers? Is it you now, Blanche, that also has to contend with clearing that module for that semester and sitting for that exam? Who's carrying the heavier weight in that scenario?
Well, it is pretty obvious, and yeah, it's pretty obvious. The students, the time that you have lost, the student...
Would the lecturers come back and tell you, also us, we have to figure how to complete that module within that short period?
We really do understand, and this particular strike has been very, very different.
Yes.
And for them it's a cry for help, and I somehow support them, because hey, can you imagine you're working somewhere and you can't afford a medical cover, and you have dependents, you have kids. Whatever they're asking for is really their rights, but the person who is being greatly affected by this particular strike is the student. The amount of time we have lost. Can you imagine, in my case, I'm the one funding my own education, not a parent, myself, and I have a very limited contract, as per se. And the way I have planned myself as a as a working person and as a student at the same time,
Yes.
somehow that strike will interfere with how I am going to be able to afford education if I don't finish school at a certain time.
That's it.
So students, whether online, whether students that are being supported by their parents, are the one who are bearing the baggage.
That's it. Aberi, do you share her sentiment? Because your lecturers don't think that you are the ones who are bearing that brunt. Because here's the thing, they're saying, we can't teach you in those lecture halls if you're not paid. And so once we come back, is it upon the lecturers to try and figure how that module, that 4-month module for this semester is supposed to be completed, or is it you who's supposed to figure out? For example now, let me just put you in that situation. When your university came out and told you, very next year, you're coming back from home, immediately sit in that exam. You're not just gonna do it this year. What was your first thought? Was it, now let me wait for my lecturer to tell me we're gonna clear this module? Or was it you who said, I gotta figure out how to clear this module? What was your thought?
Okay, so practically speaking, you need to know one thing, that most of the lectures that happen, in as much as they are good, you might find that there are things that you need to cover on your own, because from primary to high school to campus, the lecturer only covers a small percentage, and the most of it is covered by the student.
Yes.
So maybe if a student will have been wise, would have covered it on themselves, but again, there are some classes that you need to be in the lab to do it with the lecturers, and even if it is theoretical, you need to be helped by the lecturer. So for some explanations here and there. And the lecturers coming back and saying that now we are back and now it is upon us to compress this syllabus, you cannot just come and say that yet you are the ones who decided to stay out of class. If at all, you would have tried to integrate, so that at least in as much as we are applying pressure, that once in a while, or even if it's online in the evening, we can be having some classes that are running. Because at the end of the day, the lecturers have their interest, the students have their interest.
That's it.
And the students will always be the ones who will be bearing the brunt, because they don't have jobs. They're depending on the parents, or if you have jobs, maybe it is not as sustainable as Blanche has said. It is on a contractual basis. But most of the students, they don't have jobs, and they're depending on the careers that they're taking in order to get the jobs. And those people who are supposed to have graduated, but their graduation is being extended, that means they are at home, or they are still trying to look for side hustles here and there in order to make ends meet. So the students will bear the brunt, because most of the lecturers, some of them even have some other things that they're doing, to the extent that they also feel like, okay, they were asking, there's one that was asking us, I think the lecturers, the strike is still on, or is still on. She was speaking from a point of maybe waiting for the strikes to end so that she can continue teaching, and not necessarily being affected by it, because she has other things to do.
Yes.
And actually, not that the lecturers were not being paid, they just wanted salary increment, which is something very understandable. And also, as Blanche said, some medical covers to be catered for, and some other expenses that they had agreed in the collective bargaining agreement.
So maybe I should put you on the spot like this.
Yes.
Aberi. That exam that you're going to face come next year. I'm waiting for Blanche to tell us when the university will decide to do an end-year semester exam. Would you expect that the lecturers only highlight what they were able to cover within that semester? Not to be ambitious and say, our students knew that they were supposed to continue studying even when this strike was on. Would you want them to capture only the content that they were able to go through this semester? Is that what will make you happy? Or would you want a full-fledged exam that that essentially just covers the entire module?
No, not at all. Remember, some schools got limited or no access to the library, and even as you have said, the lecturers pushed them out.
Yes.
So you cannot say that the students cover the modules, and because some courses, it is very hard for you to know what to read or not to read because they are very extensive, and you might go to some holes that you don't even know.
Yes.
And it is the work of the lecturer, because they are the ones who are setting the exam, and they should set from what they have taught. So I expect from whatever you have taught, whether little or much, that is what should come to the exam, because you cannot say a fully fledged exam. Yet, even in the period that maybe even if the strike wouldn't have been there, maybe you wouldn't have covered, or even if you have tried to cover, then that's good for you. If you want to set a fully fledged exam, let it be that you covered all the units that you have taught.
That's it.
Otherwise, just set within the expected and the ones that you have taught, so that the students won't get pressure and even end up having mental health problems simply because they can't pass the exam.
That's it.
Due to the lecturer's assumption that the student should have studied.
During that strike.
Yes.
Blanche, you hear that's exactly what we're talking about, and I want us to take a tiny breather. Once we come back, don't be looking at what that means in terms of the quality of education that you guys are getting this semester or any time a strike happens. And this is the majority of the communication that we've seen from majority of the universities that have gone back. They've said, we're going to adjust and make sure that this semester comes to an end and becomes fruitful. But that would mean that there's an expectation from both you, the students, and the lecturers as well. Don't give us stuff that you didn't capture within this semester. This semester, Blanche, has been 2 months. So there's 2 months of that module that probably you're not expected, you're not under pressure to know it, because you know very well the lecturers know that they also didn't touch on it during the semester period. What does that mean in terms of the quality of education that you are actually receiving whenever lecturers go on strike? Once we come back right here on the Morning Drift, let me just read this statement here from one John this morning. John was telling me, and it's an interesting one, he's saying, maybe you should talk to more university comrades this morning as well. He said, I know some of them who, when they're going to graduate, I do not know. The lecturers, personally, internally, are on strike. Then, when they're waiting for these strikes to end, a national strike comes in. Nasema kwa mambo double. So then says, I know a friend of mine we joined together with, is now doing 2.2. I am currently doing my final year at Kenyatta University. Interesting times. Once we come back right here on the Morning Drift, we weigh in on that quality of education when they go on strike. Did you travel home? Are you part of the JQuat students who went home and that come back again after 3 days later? How did you find that experience? Talk to us at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. We're still in the studio with the affected comrades once we come back. Good morning.
Do you need a dose of hope? If so, you are in the right place. We think of ourselves around here as hope dealers, delivering truth, power, and inspiration to hearts and minds all over the world. If nothing else has worked for you, why not give the God thing a try? For it's in the presence of God that you'll find everything that you need. Amen.
Taarifa zinapochipuka na kutufikia papa hapa kwenye makao makuu ya chumba cha habari cha runinga ya Look Up. Kwenye taifa, kwenye serikali, kwenye bunge, tunajitosa hadi kwenye sauti ya wenyeji ili kupata tu maoni ya wenyeji kuhusu masuala haya yanayochipuka.
maana hii kitu inaenda kuumiza Mkenya kwa tax.
Hakuna kitu tunafurahia. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sisi tunaumia, si ati tunaumia ile ya kiukweli. Juu maisha ni ngumu.
Na bila shaka tunapata maoni yao ili sauti yao ipate kusikika, na watasema hili waseme lile, watasema hiki na waseme kile, almuradi sauti yao ipate taa.
Mambo ya mafuta tena imekuwa ni changamoto zaidi kwa kila mtu wa bodaboda.
Uchumi ikikuwa stable, tunaamini mambo itakuwa sawa sawa.
Kwanza alikuwa na ria wasi wa boda, mama mboga nini. Hao sasa ndio wamefinywa zaidi man.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni bunge la wenyeji.
Save a Life is a non-profit organization that has taken the front line in transforming lives in the entire country. So far, we have transformed the life of over 100,000 people through our programs, which include medical support, youth empowerment, street family program, feeding program, and climate change. Join us today as we transform lives. As we always say, service to humanity is service to God. Save a life, transforming lives.
All right. Welcome back to the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiaga. Let's negotiate our final part of our conversation this morning, still with Blanche and Aberi in the studio. Blanche, a student at the Cooperative University of Kenya, and we do also have Aberi, who is a law student at the University of Nairobi. Good. Let's talk about it then. If indeed they're going to give you that exam, and we're waiting for the Cooperative University to communicate how they are thinking the semester is going to be, because the only communication they've given you is that studies are back. Please come to class and keep on taking your classes. Do you expect for them to set that exam based on how the semester has been? It's only been 2 months. Or do you expect that when that exam comes in, it is an entire module, all right? And if it's not, what does that say about the quality of education, Blanche, that you have received this semester? Are they going to turn a blind eye of what you've not covered, and then you continue with the rest of the semesters?
Well, part of me is saying that I would wish that they would cover what they will be able to, they would set what they will be able to cover within the limited amount of time that you actually have. But at the moment, anything is possible. We're the ones who deal with these lecturers, and it's going to be a marathon semester.
Yes.
And I'm really expecting I'm expecting just anything from them.
Mm-hmm.
If they decide to cover it comprehensively, instead of covering what they have taught, of which I think, again, it's a bit unfair, because it's going to cost people good performances, which will force some to probably take supplementaries due to failure.
Yes.
And speaking of the quality of education, it's I would say that this semester, basically, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough. And rating on the quality of what you have received this semester, it's going to be, let's say, average. But again, we can't really blame these lecturers, because also us as students, we are training to be lecturers in the near future, and we wouldn't want to be treated in such a manner that we're being denied our wages, our rightful wages. So we feel them, but we are ready.
That's it. So let me ask, and we've known exactly how the environment becomes whenever you're facing examinations in universities. I will tell you, you don't have to tell me that a university is within the exam period. I just need to visit a university. And I will tell you, this environment here, these guys are doing their exams. I'll tell you about streets are usually empty and libraries are full to capacity. Now talk to me about the mood of students who are facing an exam, number one, knowing very well that they haven't fully prepared for it, that they've been at it for only just at most a month. Because we know you're going to go to class for a month and then the rest of the period is going to be for exams. Aren't you stressing students? And I'll give you an example of what we witnessed a couple of months ago. The Form 4 students the Form 4s and Form 3 students who were facing end-term examinations. A couple of strikes across the country, and it was just exam pressure. What is the general mood that you read from cooperative university students after coming back from the strike? Is it normal as it would be? Is there some tension, you would say, from students who are really trying to understand what is going to be of this semester, especially when the exam comes?
As from when the strike resumed, as I said, it's going to be a marathon semester.
Yes, yes.
People are really trying to catch up. New students are trying to register their units, trying to maneuver with the departments, familiarize. Students like myself who have been there doing maybe in their second year, third year, busy in the library, trying to form groups, even after classes, online groups, trying to cover, to assist themselves, because at the end of the day, it's about you as a student. Yeah, and I believe the lecturers are also trying to do the same.
Yes.
We're expecting feedback from them on how we are going to be able to cover.
I like the way you keep on saying we're expecting.
Yes.
But that expectation has not been met yet, Blanche.
Yeah.
It's not been met. You see, he already knows his fate, that he's going to come back from the holidays. Hiyo hata sherekea sikukuu. Takuwa zile za hiyo mtihani inakuja. Let me go and start studying because the exam is coming very, very fast. He's already been told. You will not do the exams this year. Clear the semester as normal as it would be. But once you come back, that first week of reporting back to campus is just going to be about exams. You are here, you're expecting that comprehensive communication. It has not come yet. Blanche, is it going to be shocking if they also tell you, as from second, you're supposed to be doing exams?
Not really. It's expected because already we don't have time.
Yes.
We don't have time, and we have to work with whatever we have. Yeah, so if they say it's in maybe towards the end of December, if they take our Christmas holidays away, I don't have a problem, because at the end of the day, I know what I'm looking for as a student.
That's it.
Yeah.
Blanche, I know, I like how you speak. You know, it's about you. But how many Blanche do we have at the Cooperative University of Kenya? That could be very few.
But you see, as I told you, I'm not a student who is being funded by
That's it.
their parent. It's all coming from my pocket. So I have to plan myself, and I have to adjust. I have to adapt so that I attain and I get that end of year certificate. I graduate.
That's it.
Yeah. Perhaps a different student, maybe first years, would protest and maybe want to maybe be taken slower. But for me, I'm really ready to adjust.
That's it.
Yeah.
You hear the way Blanche is saying, she's a model student. And wale tunasemanga the model students, all right? So cheza na time yao, all right? But here's a question I'm asking. What would have you preferred? Do exams before you go home for the holidays, come back and start a fresh semester, or clear this semester, and then ile time sisi tuko huku home tunasema tupatie wiki mbili, huko zile za hii next week nafungua tu hivi na mtihani imenianza. What would you preferred? Is it to clear your exams this semester, get done with it, come back next year fresh, begin a new semester, and think about exams towards the end of the semester?
Okay, so what I would have preferred, of course, is to finish this year.
That's it.
so that I can enjoy my festivities. Even my birthday is right before Christmas.
When is it? When is it? Is it on 24th?
It is on 24th. So
okay.
I might be a small baby Jesus here, the anointed one.
Ulikosa tu kufika hivi 25th, you know?
I came to prepare the way for baby Jesus.
That's it.
But of course, I would love to maybe finish the exams before I go home. But now that's not feasible because if they do that, they will also tamper with my grades. And also, I can't say really grades because unless they maybe put everything in the question paper from the beginning to the end of the semester, yet it hasn't been covered.
Yes.
But now we also need to study, and that the study period itself has been compressed to 6 weeks, which I'm not sure if we'll be able to cover, because that would mean if a lecture has only one lecture per week, that means only 6 lectures. 6 lectures, and you have exams coming next year.
That's it.
So as of now, the way the situations or the circumstances are, will just rather have the exams next year.
That's it.
Even though it will not make me enjoy my day properly.
Yes.
And even Christmas.
Yes.
But at least after Christmas, the 27th, 28th, 29th, and even that period before we start the exams, I'll have some time to psychologically and even academically prepare for the exams.
That's it. Here's a proposal that was put forward.
Yes.
I've spoken to a couple of lecturers, by the way, before this conversation, who said, you know what we would have preferred is for the higher education in this country to be readjusted, that calendar to get a readjustment. Be aware of the fact that you can't clear a semester in 1 month and 6 weeks, sorry, in just 6 weeks. So go back, clear this year, and probably add another 2 months into the following semester to clear this semester that you haven't. Then they give another proposal on the long holidays, compress them so that now the semesters can come back to normal as you go right ahead. That don't assume that you're going to clear this semester within 6 weeks. Would you have loved that as a law student, knowing very well that you're looking at 4 years and then another 2 years again for you now to become a practicing lawyer in this country?
It is something that I've loved to. Yes, of course, because
take more time in school.
No, not at all. See, they have said that they will compress the long holiday.
Yes.
Which isn't something that will make me happy, but I think it is necessary so that we have enough time to cover our first semester.
Yes.
For this semester now, and also maybe get back to normal. But now the problem is, will there be another strike? Because you have had the remaining 3.9 or 3.8 billion in the CBA that has been agreed will be covered mid next year when they release the new, during the new financial year. So that is something that has not yet happened, and we know the normalcy because it's something that has happened as a trend.
Yes.
And we don't have full trust and faith in the systems. And so in as much as I would have loved they add 2 months, it will also mean if something happens within that period and we don't get to finish the year that I'm currently in, that will mean they extend. So the earlier I finish, the better.
That's it.
Yes.
Pretty much. Blanche, here's another proposal that has been put forward. That the students want the ones who are on strike. Number one, we do know some students who are barred from accessing the libraries to study as they wait for the conclusion of that industrial strike from majority of universities across the country. Some of them were barred from even accessing some of the hostels in the school. Some lecturers went to the point of blocking some students from accessing this hostel so they could go home actually, so that the strikes could look as they were real. Do you agree with these proposals that have been put forward? Number one, within this period, probably have some refunds to the students. Think about the school fee that you guys are paid for this period and also reimagine it. Say, you weren't in class for 2 months. So that fee would be put forward into the next semester, because whether they like it or not, like what corporate university is doing right now, they haven't foreseen them giving you an extra 2 months. They want to adjust and say it's going to be possible within the 6 weeks. Would you be happy if you saw your fee reimagined? That once you come back next semester, you'll be told probably a certain percentage of your fee from last semester has already been taken care of because you weren't in class during that period, and we didn't extend the period that you stayed in class to complete that semester. Would that be a fair proposal?
Definitely. It's only fair that you give students their rightful, let's say, their rightful services for their money.
Yes.
And especially like education, whatever I have paid as a student and I have not been able to utilize, I think it's only fair that it be refunded.
Yes.
Yes.
Would you imagine pushing for that?
Most definitely, yes. Because 49 days,
yes,
and I have paid my school fees in full. Can you imagine someone who is not able to afford, and probably they have not extended time to cover?
True.
I can only imagine a parent who will have to go back into their pockets to pay again, and yet again the strike is very uncertain. Is it going to happen again?
Yes.
What's the point of paying school fees and you're not getting the value of our money?
That's it.
It's only fair that it gets refunded.
That's it.
Yeah.
Aberi, some question to you. I mean, the only thing that you've been told is that you won't do exams this year, but the semester is still running the way it was meant to run 4 months ago. But for 50 days, you've not been in class. I also spoke to another gentleman who told me, wait, I traveled home, so I'm coming back this week again. Because this guy went home and lacked fare to bring him back from home into the city as well. It was like, I'll come back this week. Would you be happy for them to communicate back and say, you know, we've reimagined your school fee for next semester. So if you had paid this much, a certain percentage of that fee is going to take care of your fee for next semester, because 50 days was spent without you guys being in class.
Yes, I would really love that. Even for those who haven't paid, that the amount that they are expected to pay,
yes,
should be reduced so that it is. And also, if it is being reduced, now for them it won't be carried forward. But now they won't have to pay much. And for those who have already paid, because we are paying for tuition fees, tuition that never happened. Tuition that even if within this period, we are not sure we'll finish the course that we're supposed to finish.
That's it.
And you know, for that part that we haven't been taught, it means that that is wasted money that we had paid for. So if it will be reimbursed or reimagined, that will be the best thing that I could do for the students and even for the parents and even the institutions that are paying scholars for these students. And also, because if the student has already paid, or if they cut the amount they are supposed to pay, that will mean at least the parent will have a better amount of, better time in looking for funds that will help the student in their day-to-day, now that they have finished their help, and not even all students applied for this help. So that means they'll have financial strains as they try to make ends meet, even as they try to finish this semester.
That's it.
Yeah, so it will be really good for the institutions to take that into account and actually make it an actionable plan and a reality that the students get refunded or get their amount reimagined to the next semester.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Blanche, I know you said that to some extent you sort of feel the lecturer strike. You know exactly where it's coming from. That at the end of the day, if you were in their shoes, you'd also expect to be outside there championing for your rights. But going by what you've seen over the past 49 days, is there a way that industrial university strikes could be handled differently? Out of the challenges that you've seen, would you put one or two proposals forward on how we as a country can start handling these strikes so that you have a different experience from what you've had, from what you did have for the 49 days?
Yeah, we have seen quite a number of strikes in different ministries. And that tells us as a country we're in a crisis, because in a position where a country cannot be able to afford basic wants for its people, healthcare, education, and other things as food security, it really calls for replanning and prioritizing the basic ones. I would really wish, I saw the lecturers' unions say that the CBAs normally, they have a tendency of negotiating them towards the term limit.
Yes.
If possibly they could be done earlier, as in this case, the 2025 to 2029.
Yes, yes.
I saw them in their work, going back to work formula, I saw them try to push that it gets negotiated earlier, which is a good thing because it will, it is going to help us avoid a lot of strikes. They'll be able to know what is actually doable and what is not.
That's it.
And things like medical covers and other maybe allowances will be taken care of earlier so that it doesn't press them that hard to halt education in schools.
That's it.
Yeah. And also the government should also prioritize matters education, matters healthcare, so we don't see ourselves back in that pit hole again.
That's it.
Yeah. Pretty
much. And you can hear, by the way, it's actually true because the 2029 CBA, and as I say, it's open for negotiations for a new CBA. So the lecturers want it, but then the government says, we are open, let's first deal with the current CBA. And this is where it stands because they were asking for 7.9 billion, but currently as it is, they've made the first payment of 3.9 billion that was due between November and December 2025, and they've said that that balance is going to be paid by mid-2026. Did it alarm you, Blanche, that the officials of the UASU, they come out and said, listen, should you delay by even a minute, and that's what they say, by even a day, by even a second to honor this CBA, we'll again go back on strike. Were you a bit alarmed?
Sorry?
Were you a bit alarmed when the officials of UASU came out and said, if the government delays to honor this current CBA that had put them out for 49 days, which saw them get the 3.8 billion shillings out of the 7.9 billion, that if they delay by a second, by a day, that immediately again they will go out and strike. Were you a bit alarmed?
And as schools resume, we aren't pretty much comfortable. We are sitting on the edge that it could potentially take on again, because the negotiations with our governments, we have seen with other departments, as I've said, normally both the government and the university unions are both desperate. These ones want their wages and these ones don't have the money.
Yes.
And we are all aware with the financial crisis in our nation. So that being said, the government probably, I have a feeling it might not be able to meet the second phase of payments.
Yes.
And that might lead, hopefully not, it might lead to another probably prolonged strike, because lecturers really mean business and they're serious about it. And it's pretty sad. But we're hoping His Excellency is going to look into the matter. We saw the Deputy President trying to push for negotiations which have yield sort of an agreement that have sent lecturers back to class. We really hope that they are looking at the second phase, and they are going to meet all the agreements they had on the table,
yes,
so that it doesn't affect students anymore.
That's it. Pretty much, Aberi, you as well. Just help us clear this conversation this morning. I mean, we saw the drama that was in public universities, especially one from Maseno, Moi, and partly UON as well. Do you think that there will be a different approach that will be having to these industrial strikes in universities, so that you don't sort of feel the way you're feeling right now? What proposal would you put forward if you were in that position?
So my first proposal will be to have quarterly negotiations.
Yes.
And in the quarterly negotiations, so that they're able to discuss and also maybe fine-tune some of the agreements that they had signed, even within, because this is something that had been agreed from 2017 to, it should end December 2025, and yet it has been pushed to next year. So that shows that there's an institutional and systemic gap.
That's it.
And so let us not be having these negotiations when a crisis has hit, because everyone gets to be affected, and the people who get more affected are the students. Because when you hear the lecturer saying, if they delay even for a second, we are going for another strike, they're not people who are going to be affected really by this strike. Actually, they're benefiting from the strike, because that means for them, strike is like a desperate language,
yes,
that can be heard by the government, which shouldn't be the case. So that is one. Additionally, I love that the government include these budgets for the lecturers and the CBA in the national budget that is usually, that happens every year.
That's it.
So that we get to ensure that whatever has been agreed has been put to action. Because this is something that is even guaranteed in the Constitution, Article 10, for integrity and accountability by those people who are in the leadership position.
Yes.
And the right to education, as per Article 43(1)(e), is something that is paramount to every learner and shouldn't be denied. But at the same time, we cannot blame the lecturers who go to strike, because it is something that it is their right to go on strike and demand for their fair pay, which is guaranteed in Article 41 of the Constitution and also Section 76 of the Labor Relations Act.
Yes.
So all those are my proposals coming in the near future, so that we get to remove these problems that are very small, that keep acting as obstacles on our way. Because take an example for the leaders who are in power. If the MPs will call for a strike, even before they put that pen to paper that they're calling for a strike, it is already over.
Yes.
But now when it comes to other systems that shape the economy and even the economy of the country, we find that there is some lagging and not being put into serious action.
Yes.
And it is not an emergency as it will be their case. So that's a proposal that I would love to be implemented, was I to be in that position.
That's it.
Yes.
Pretty much. And you can see some of the proposals that the students this morning are putting forward to what we can do as a country, so that we avert this crisis that is strikes within the public universities. Now, Ezra this morning was saying, we madaktari wameenda strike kama mara 5 per year. So, wasi expect hii kitu ikuwe handled. That is Ezra this morning was telling you, labda mkuwe ready for another strike next year as well. All right. This is, let me just read one or two that have come in. Yes, this is Mike this morning was saying, well, ukiangalia vile hiyo kitu imewekwa mid next year, au wanategea budget na watakuja waseme hawana do, tuangalie tena next year as well. So wakuwe ready kwenda strike. This is Alphonse this morning was saying, just one sec, I've seen one of it here. This is Alphonse this morning was saying, Simba, I like the show this morning. Say hi to the students in the studio. Sisi kama comrades wa Moi University, strike tumezoea na itabidi wamezoea. That's what the Alphonse is saying. So let me read the last one this morning from Shilenje. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Hopefully you're back in the country after Tanzania. So this is what he's saying. Well, what we need to do is make sure that all the lecturers' negotiations are done before we have the new presidents coming in or before elections. I know they'll get their deal. I didn't understand it quite well, but thank you very much, Elenja, for watching us this morning. And we do appreciate for every other person who joined us this morning as well for this show. Aberi Blanche, thank you very much for joining us at Look Up TV. Hopefully, we see you after you've graduated, isn't it? Hopefully very soon, isn't it? All right. We step out, take them online to the time that they joined us in the studio this morning at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I'll see you tomorrow for another conversation. Good morning and goodbye.